Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Grueling Truths Tuesday Night Boxing Show, brought to you by Gridiron Mo, a new interactive football app where you get to call what you think the offense or defense should do during a live NFL game and see what all other fans across the country has called also. Check out Gridiron Mo at www.gridironmo.com. As always, I want to welcome in my co-host for the boxing show, Dave Sidursky. How you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm doing excellent. How you doing, Mike?
Oh, I'm doing great. We have a very special guest tonight. He was one of the top boxers of the last 15 years, former IBF light middleweight champion of the world, and holds wins over Shane Mosley twice and Felix Trinidad. Help me welcome to the Grueling Truth, Winky Wright.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
All right. It's truly an honor to have you on here, Winky.
Hey, and you failed to mention the undisputed Jr.Middleweight champion.
All right, I'm sorry. And we can do it over if you want.
Let's get that. No, it's cool.
You should have. You beat Jermaine Taylor too, so we should be able to throw that in.
Yeah, didn't get that. Yeah.
But all right, let's start off. Is there anybody in particular who was most influential on your boxing development when you were younger?
Me myself, I watch a lot of Sugar Ray Leonard coming up. Sugar Ray Leonard and Pernell Whitaker. You know, when I first started fighting, that's what my style was like. But you know, just later on in my career, I switched my style up to the style that a lot of people know now.
Champ, other than, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Champ, other than Sugar Ray Leonard and Pernell Whitaker, were there any other fighters that were favorites of yours growing up?
You know, yeah, a lot of fighters that you like. You know, Marvin Hagler, you know, Mark Breland. You know, it's different fighters, you know, that I like. But particularly at that time, I tried to keep myself on Sugar Ray Leonard, and I love how Pernell Whitaker made you miss. You know, he did a lot of slipping and moving and made fighters miss. So I liked that and tried to implement that in my game.
All right. Now, you fought mostly overseas for a 5-year period, I think, between 1993 and 1998. What were those experiences like for you?
I think those experiences were great for me. It helped me become a more rounded fighter, I think, because, you know, I had to go into areas where I was me and my team were the only people rooting for me. So it helped me to learn how to block the outsiders away from what I had to do in the ring. You know, so a lot of fighters can only fight good when they're in their own environment. But, you know, it helped me to be able to adjust and do what I had to do to win the fight.
Champ, you lost in your first title chance against Julio Cesar Vasquez in August of 1994 by a close and controversial decision. What was that experience like, and what did you learn from it?
Well, that let me know that I truly was a world champion because, like I said, I was 21, and I was just boxing, having fun, and that fight that showed me how tough I was. The toughness in me to keep fighting because I had a lot of things going wrong. I stayed over there for a long time, and when I fought, my shoes, I kept slipping and falling. They was giving them knockdowns when I was clearly outboxing them. Outboxing the whole fight, I was clearly outboxing them and everything, but I just couldn't keep my balance because my shoes kept slipping. And then later, you know, he hurt me, knocked me down, you know. But a lot of times I was just so tired because before that fight, my longest fight I ever went was 8 rounds. So I was in a tough 12-round fight where I had to dig down and fight to continue, you know, so he wouldn't try to knock me out because, you know, people can say what they want, but I'm a fighter that had never been knocked out, never been stopped, you know, so.
Well, how difficult is it for an undefeated fighter to recover from their first loss? And with your experience, your first loss, how did it help your career maybe?
Like I said, it helped me tremendous. It helped me realize what I had to do to not lose, to feel that feeling again. You know, I went back, I trained harder, I trained smarter, and then, as you see, I came back and just started beating everybody. And then that's when I had a couple of bad decisions go the other way. So, you know, that right there was tough, but, you know, it's life, and, you know, you got to, you know, prepare yourself for things like that.
Champ, close to 2 years later, you challenged WBO junior middleweight champion Bronco McCart and won by a decision. How did it feel to win your first world title?
Oh, it was great, man, because everybody, was expecting McCart to beat me because he was on TV at that time. Me, I wasn't getting much TV plug. And he was always on USA. He was their up and coming fighter. He was their bright star. So for me to go in his hometown and beat him, it was a big thing. And at that time, nobody wanted to fight Bronco McCart. A lot of people say, well, Bronco McCart, he never became this and never became that because he kept running into me. We fought 3 times, and that was his Achilles. He kept fighting me. If he probably should have fought me that one time, lost, and went other route, he probably would have had a much lucrative career.
Well, after that, you defended the title, I think, 3 times in London. Then you traveled to South Africa, where you lost a controversial decision to the undefeated Harry Simon. It was a fight
Worst
that was initially
Worst.
ruled a draw, and then it was
Yeah.
changed a few minutes later to majority decision. What are your thoughts on that?
That had to be one of the worst decisions ever. First of all, he fought a good fight. I fought a good fight. Okay, they called it a draw. I still thought I beat him, but they called it a draw. I'm the champion. I keep my belt with a draw. So I'm like, all right, cool. I go to the dressing room, and then when I take a shower and do everything, now I'm getting ready. We ready to leave and go back to the hotel. They come back and say, come back to the ring, because we made a mistake. And we got the scorecard wrong. First of all, they took 15 minutes in the ring counting it up. And what they did was they made, I think, Julie Letterman, this was her first title fight, whatever. They pressured her to change her scorecard, and what she did for them, and they gave him a decision by 1 point. And, when I was a WBO champion at the time, so when we tried to talk to the WBO and said, they can't do this. How can they change the decision after they already made the decision? And we want to fight it. And they didn't do anything. So I told the WBO I'll never fight for y'all again. But at that time they didn't think anything of it because they were like, well, he lost the title, he probably won't be anything anyway. So they're like, okay, whatever. But little do they know, it came back to bite them in their butt.
Champ, in December of 1999, you lost yet another controversial decision to Fernando Vargas. At this point, you've lost 3 times, and all 3 of your losses are controversial. I guess, what were your feelings about this then, and how do you feel about it now in retrospect?
That's really when it started to really get to me about this boxing game, where how corrupt it was and how unfair and unjust it was, because these fighters come in and pour their heart out and fight the fight of their life for a judge to come in who's been favored from the promoter and brought in from the promoter for his fighter to win, and and give a lopsided decision. You've seen it more than once. Everybody that watches boxing seen it more than once, where you see a fight and then that this fighter clearly won the fight, but when they get a decision, they give it to the other fighter, and you like, what were they watching? So it's a lot of things bad in boxing, and I think that's one of them.
Yeah, that would be the equivalent of, the San Francisco 49ers beating the New England Patriots 48-10, and at the end of the game they rule for the Patriots. So
yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, it's the only sport where you get that. And I know Harold Letterman even had you winning a fight against Fernando Vargas, I think. And, I mean, I think it was a joke, but there was a lot of money behind Vargas, which has a lot to do with that a lot of times. I know we had Steve Cunningham on the show a few months ago, and he's been ripped off multiple times, and most of them were overseas, but they get him over here too sometimes. You came back, you defeated Robert Frazier in October 2001 to win the IBF Junior Middleweight Championship. How satisfying was it to be a champion once again when you had all these people that were doubting you?
No, it wasn't really that the people were doubting me. It was more on my part that, they kept cheating. They kept trying to rob me, kept trying to stop me, and they couldn't. No matter what they did, I still prevailed and became a world champion. that really let me know that if I just stay focused and keep my mind, and I can do whatever I want.
Champ, at one point you were slated to fight Oscar De La Hoya. What happened, and why did that fight never come off?
I never was slated to fight Oscar. I always wanted to fight Oscar, but Oscar never wanted to fight me. He never offered me a fight, and I seen him plenty of times and kept asking, look, man, you giving everybody fights. Why won't you fight me? Before he fought Pacquiao, I said, listen, I got all the belts. I got all the belts. I beat everybody you lost to. So the only fight I did really is me and you. That's what the people want to see. Pacquiao wasn't a star then, but he just was like, well, I guess he thought it was going to be an easy fight, and he took that fight, and it cost him. Pacquiao destroyed him.
All right, real quick, we're going to have to take a station break to pay some bills, so we'll be back after we hear this word from our sponsor, DraftKings.
Your season-long fantasy football lineup is locked in and ready for action, but you don't have to wait till Week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test starting Sunday at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site where you could kick the season off by winning $2 million. It's the biggest fantasy football contest ever. $10 million in prizes are up for grabs, including $2 million for first place and $1 million for second. 1 week fantasy means no season-long commitments. It's fantasy football on demand. Play where you want, when you want, with the players you want. Then turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. Just pick up your players, pile up the points, and pick up the cash. That's it. You've never experienced football like this. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use promo code SPREAKER to play for free for a shot at $2 million in the Week 1 Millionaire Maker. Enter SPREAKER for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
All right, we're back with former undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world, Winky Wright. Did I get it right that time, Winky?
Yeah, undisputed, baby.
In March 2004, you were a heavy underdog when you faced Sugar Shane Mosley, yet you beat him pretty handily. How satisfying was that?
Well, that was great because it was a coming out party because a lot of the boxing world knew who Winky Wright was, but the fans really didn't know who Winky Wright was. You could say my name in the boxing game, and people was like, oh, Winky Wright, yeah, I heard that name, da-da-da. But I wasn't a household name. So after beating Sugar Shane Mosley, because remember, he just beat Oscar De La Hoya twice, so everybody knew who he was, but nobody knew who I was, and they wasn't giving me a chance because he fought Oscar and beat Oscar. Everybody thought, well, Winky ain't never fought nobody like that, so Winky going to lose. But like I told everybody, I ain't never fought nobody like that because they were scared to fight me. It wasn't that I didn't want to fight. They were just scared to fight me.
Champ, you defeated Mosley again that November. What was it about his style that you were able to exploit?
Well, I think it was more, I'm a fighter that like to use my jab a lot, and Mosley is a shorter fighter. So it was easier for me to, pretty much get my jab off and keep him off balance. Because I noticed when he fought, he liked to jump up a lot. He liked to jump and bounce on his tippy toes. So he's never really set. So if I wouldn't give him a chance to sit and plant, then I can knock him off his game plan. And that's what I did. Every time he jumped up, bouncing on his tippy toe, I hit him with the jab. So now he got to reset. And every time he had to reset, I was ready for him.
Well, May 2005, you handily defeated the great Felix Trinidad. In retrospect, which win was more meaningful to you, the one against Trinidad or the one against Mosley?
Well, both of them was meaningful for me, but I think the fight that really took me out into to stardom was the Trinidad fight and how I did it. Once again, you gotta remember, every fight I fought, they coming off big fights. So he had just fought Mayoga, and he looked great. He destroyed Mayoga in New York. So, everybody watched that fight. Everybody seen that fight, and was just like, Winky can't punch, Winky can't do this, Winky ain't going to have a chance with the great Trinidad, da-da-da-da-da. So, once again, I was like, that's cool, but he fought Mayoga. He didn't fight me. It's a difference. So, when we went into that fight, I knew that, whenever I saw him, he had to plant to throw his shot. And when he had to plant to load up, I knew my defense, I can block his shots. I ain't worried about him. I could block him, but all I had to do was just get off first. And once I started getting off first and timing him with my jab, it was an easy fight.
Yes, Chip, that was an impressive, and I don't think you lost a round, if I remember right, on any of the judges' scorecards. After that, you fought a draw with middleweight champion Jermaine Taylor in December of 2005. What are your recollections of that fight, and did you feel like you deserved the decision on that night?
I definitely deserved the decision in that fight. First of all, I want to let everybody know by them giving the correct decision and giving me the win, I would have been I probably would have been the first fighter to have been an undisputed junior middleweight champion and undisputed middleweight champion at the same time. Remember, I never lost my junior middleweight title. I gave them up because I moved up because nobody else would fight me at 154. I had nobody else down there. Everybody, once I became undisputed champion at junior middleweight, everybody moved up to 60 and 47. They cleared the division. And then I'm like, what? So now Oscar, he jump up to 60. This person go down to 40, 47. So it was nobody at 54 for me to fight. So I had to fight a couple of little fighters. And after that, I'm like, well, listen, I got to go up because that's the only thing I could do. And Jermaine Taylor was there. So, I was undisputed junior middleweight champion. He was the undisputed middleweight champion. And rightfully so, they should have gave me that decision, and I would have definitely made history by being the first undisputed junior middleweight and middleweight champion.
Well, why do you think the rematch never happened with Taylor?
Oh, the rematch never happened because they never wanted it. People try to say that they offered me this and this. He never wanted to fight. He never wanted to fight. We first of all, I was pissed off. As you can see at the fight, I was mad. I didn't want to do an interview. I didn't want because I'm tired. As you just read through my record, it's 3 or 4 times I've been cheated. And it's like when enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? When I'm gonna get a decision to go my way and stop being cheated just because I don't. People was mad at me because I didn't do what everybody wanted me to do. I did what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Now. That Floyd doing what he want to do, it's great. But when I did it, it was like I'm going against the power. I'm going against this. No, it wasn't that. It was just that I'm tired. I don't want to be, I don't want to be ran over. I want to say what I want and get what I want. And that's what the problem was. They didn't like that. And, I kept falling on the wrong decision, the bad decision.
Champ, you agreed to fight Bernard Hopkins in July of 2007 at a catch weight of 170 pounds. Do you feel like that put you at an unfair disadvantage that night?
It definitely did, but that's not the problem. The problem, listen, it was once again at 60. I fought a bunch of more people at 60, and I couldn't get no meaningful fights. There wasn't no meaningful fights out there. So it's like I had like almost 50 fights. It's like, what am I keep fighting these Joe Schmoes for? And it doesn't mean anything. So I'm like, listen, if I'm going to fight, let it mean something. So it was no meaningful fight there. So, Bernard Hopkins just beat my friend from Antonio Tarver. So, and he was like, he'll fight me. So I guess he thought I was scared because he was bigger. I'm like, I love to fight. I've been wanting to fight you a long time ago. Because I don't think I think you're good, but I definitely think I could beat you. And that's what happened. We went into the fight. Clearly, he tried to take me on my game plan, but he just kept holding the headbutt. I ain't never seen a referee not take away points. That's all he was doing, holding the headbutt, hold. I'm like, take it, boy, do something, make him fight, And then he tried to take him to the later round, and like I said, he headbutted me and cut me. I could have just stopped in the second round and said, look, I can't see, and it could have been a draw, but I wanted to beat him. I wanted to knock him out. And it didn't happen, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely thought I won the fight. If you see how I reacted at the end of the fight, soon at the end of the fight, when they called the decision, I'm the one looking like, yeah, let's do this. I got this. He just standing there like, dang, I lost. And then when they called the decision for him, he's like, oh, I'm like, really? I'm like, man, that right there, that was the last draw. Boxing, I had lost all respect for boxing. So people was like, well, why you ain't fight too many, why it took so long to get back? Because I really didn't want to fight anymore. It was more of, how much can I give a sport and keep getting robbed? You know what I'm saying? All I want is my just do it, fair shot, fair shake at everything. You know what I'm saying? First of all, they didn't want to pay me like they should have paid me for all the things that I have done in the sport and all the people I have beat. They always wanted to give me the short end of the stick. But it was like, look, you got to do what you got to do to get on top. So I did that. But at the same time, they just underrated me. They wanted this. They didn't want to give me this, didn't want to do this. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to box no more. So that's why it took me like probably another year and a half to 2 years to fight again. It was like, you know what? Forget boxing. I don't want to do this no more. And then, but that's what I'm a fighter. So eventually it came back, okay, well, I'll come back. And then at that time when I come back, I'm like, I don't want to just fight no bums like these dudes. They come back and fight somebody they know they can beat. I come back and fight undefeated fighters. Okay, I lost, but the whole point is I'm coming back because I want meaningful fights. If I can fight, if I'm gonna be a fighter, I want to fight the best. You know what I'm saying? I never turn down no fight. So people can say, for Winky Wright, I did this. I ain't never turned down a fight that meant something. So whoever's saying that is a lie.
Well, I think that's the thing that made you one of the great fighters of the last 10 or 15 years. The fact that you basically went after the best fighters in the world. And
right.
Win or lose, you gave it your best effort. You let the chips fall where they may. I think
right.
you're an absolutely outstanding fighter, and I think the thing that they didn't like about it is you were beating up the guys that they had all their money behind.
That's right. That's exactly what happened. I'm taking away the network's fighters. And if the network would have just said, well, listen, let's get behind him, because no matter what they say, I had the most, we would go fight places, and I'm with other fighters that they supported, and the fans still want to see me. and they realized this, but it was just too late. They had made their bed, and they was so much money was going behind pushing these other fighters and not pushing me, and it still ain't helped them. The other fighters, and to this day, you still say Winky Wright. Everybody, oh yeah, Winky Wright, yeah. But you said some of the other names, they're like, okay, yeah, he's all right, but such and such. And the true fans know true fighters. They know what really happened in them fights. And even when I lost, you seen when people come up and say he didn't lose this, that. So, it is what it is.
Champ, you own an independent record label now named Pound for Pound Promotions. Tell our listeners a little bit about that and your appreciation for music.
No, I did that. That was years ago. I've been shut that down. But I love music. I love hip hop music. My friend, he passed away. God bless his dead. Chris Lighty. You know what I'm saying? He was big in the music game, and he helped me to really get inside the music game and meet a lot of these big name people, and the people that's running the music scene at that time. So I thank him for that. But I realized that to really be truly into that music game, you really have to have the time and effort to put into it, because the artist really needs your back and really needs your push to shine, and you can't half do it. And at that time I was half doing it. I was doing it for a couple of friends, and I liked the music game, but I didn't know the business part of it. And once I learned that, I realized I wasn't ready for that, so I got out of it.
All right. Hey, real quick, we got to take another word from our sponsors. The sponsor is Gridiron Mo. Check them out at www.gridironmo.com. Hey, everybody, go check out a brand-new football app called Gridiron Mo. It's an app where you get to call what you think the offense or defense should do during a live NFL game and see what all others around the country have also called. So make sure you check out Gridiron Mo app at www.gridironmo.com. All right, guys, we're back with former junior middleweight champion of the world, Winky Wright. Winky, I think there's no doubt that someday you'll be selected to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Have you given any thought to what you would say in that speech?
No, I haven't gave thought to that right now. Like I said, for me, my whole career, I always want to thank my fans, because the fans who really pushed Winky Wright, the writers and the fans that believed in me made the networks, they made the boxing councils put Winky Wright where he needed to be. If it wasn't for y'all and it wasn't for my fans, I would never have been able to get them fights that pushed me over the top.
That's a really humble statement, Champ. And as one of your fans, I appreciate that. You are one of the outstanding defensive fighters in boxing in recent memory, and I guess what's your secret to that? What does it take to be a great defensive fighter?
You can't be scared to be hit. For me in boxing, I love to fight. I love to get in the spar. I love to fight. I hated the training. That was the problem. The training was killed me. It was there because I would fight and then I would get out of shape by going traveling. I lived life. I had a young kid, my kids. I was going places with my kids, doing this, going on golf trips. So I lived life. So when I wasn't fighting, I wasn't training, I was gaining too much weight. So I was going from 154 to 190, 195. So after a while, it just made it harder and harder for me to get down to that weight. And, eventually it just slowed me down a little bit. But like I said, if I was one of the fighters that stayed in shape and didn't get so much out of shape, I think I would still be fighting right now. Like right now, because I'm not fighting, I'm starting to get in shape and do it the right way and not starve myself and do all that. So, like I had Shane Mosley call me and say, look, let's get back in the ring before you fought Mayoga. And I told him, man, it's not worth it. First of all, I'm not coming back to make a spectacle of myself. You know what I'm saying? But now, if it came down to the right fight, would I come back? You never know. Only fight I really think I really want to come back for is Oscar De La Hoya, because I think he's the only chump that ran for me and never fought me, and he should have fought me. That would have been a mega fight, me and Oscar De La Hoya, and he didn't want to do it.
Because he would have got his ass whooped, Winky.
but that's not see, what I like. What made me, I think, another key point of the fighter that I am. I think I took stuff from Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Duran, Hearns. Them fighters fought each other once, twice, three times. No matter you win, you lose, but you give it a great fight and you come back and try to do it again. That shows the heart of a real champion. These fighters right now running around with these undefeated records, but you ain't fighting nobody. You undefeated, but you haven't fought anyone that's really challenged you. Yes, okay, you fought somebody with a name, but maybe they passed their prime. Fight that person that's in your same era with the same ability that you have, who people really think you might lose this fight, and then you come and beat that fighter. That's make you a great fighter. Not because you beating everybody you're supposed to beat. Well, you ain't doing nothing but what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. So do you still follow boxing?
Not really. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't. You see the big fights, but I got my a fighter from my gym, Keith Thurman, One Punch Thurman, and Shorty, he grew up in my gym. He grew up training with me and learning things, and I love the way he fight. He got a lot of excitement with his boxing game. He can punch, he can box, but he's smart. And a lot of people just see him as punching, but Keith can box, Keith can jab, Keith can go to the body. And he learned all that from being in the gym and being taught all of that. Not just trying to hit one big hard shot, but learn how to box, man, learn how to 1-2, learn how to go to the body. And, I think he's going to be a great fighter.
What kind of shot would you give him against Mayweather?
Well, like I said, you can't really say what somebody can do against Mayweather, because Mayweather is a great fighter with a great defense, but a small fighter, and he knows how to win. He knows how to use what is good for him. He uses his jab, he uses his distance, he pop shots you, he know how to move around you, and if you feel like you're getting tired or you can't punch, then that's when you will see him move in with the shoulder and try to go to your body and come back up to the head and just do what he has to do to win. And he's in great shape, so, I definitely think he has a shot. Do I think he will win? I don't know. Do I think he can win? Yes, I think he can win. But, it is what it is. Boxing is boxing. One punch can change anything.
Yeah. Well, we're almost out of time. Dave, you got any more questions?
I guess just one last question, Champ. What are you passionate about now in your life?
Man, I'm passionate about family. My kids, my family, and just enjoying life, man. Because we only get one shot at this. A lot of people, we so much on trying to get this and get that. You don't live your life in the moment. See, I live my life in the moment. Whatever I did and whatever I have done, I don't have any regrets. That's why somebody was asking me the other day, if you can go back and change something, would you change about your boxing or anything like that? I said, no, I had no regrets. I took everything I did at that time, and I'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. But I lived in that moment. I enjoyed that moment. And that's what a lot of people don't do. Floyd does it. I give it to him. He enjoys the moment. He living his life, and that's great. You know what I'm saying? A lot of other people, they just, they're so busy trying to do this and do that and gain this, and you forgetting about this and that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm sorry, Mike.
I can tell you this. Winky, it was an absolute honor to have you on the show tonight.
Hey, man, no problem. I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Hey, and anytime you want to come back on, or you can bring Keith, because I like Keith, too.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
But, all right, well, once again, you were listening to the undisputed undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world, Winky Wright. So, like I said, Winky, anytime we could do this again, I think it would be great. Dave?
Thanks, champ, for your time. Great talking with you.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right. Thanks a lot, Winky.
All right, much. Bye.
All right, Dave. That was a pretty good interview, don't you think?
That was pretty good. One of the, his career, he reminds me a little bit of Marvelous Marvin Hagler in some ways. That the way he got basically jobbed in some of those fights. And every close decision seemed to go against him. But definitely goes down as an all-time great.
Oh, you're from Massachusetts. All great fighters remind you of Marvin Hagler.
Well, he's a pretty good standard bearer. You got to admit that.
Oh, he is. But I think Winky Wright. If you had to put the top 15 fighters of this century, he definitely falls into top 15, probably the top 10.
I wouldn't argue with you there, and he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Where,
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's been retired long enough to be in the Hall of Fame yet, though.
No, I understand that. I'm not sure how long is the wait for the.
I thought it was 5 years for that too, but I'm not 100% sure.
That sounds about right, and he's been retired for what, about 2 or 3?
Yeah, I think his last fight was 2012, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So. All right. Now, the rest of the week, later tonight, we will have the NFL Pick'em show with Leon Searcy. Dave, you want to be a special guest and pick the games this week with us?
Sure, why not?
All right. It's this number. But that show will come out tomorrow morning, which would be, I believe, Wednesday morning. Also this week, we'll have the Cincinnati Bengals weekly show with myself and former Cincinnati Bengal linebacker Joe Kelly. The San Francisco 49er weekly show will be up with Matt Andrew Scavage, Dexter Carter, and Bryant Young, I believe, will be their guests this week. Also, don't forget to check out Gridiron Mo, which we will have a Gridiron Mo show this week, which you can sit there and call the plays as the game goes, and as the Patriots destroy the Steelers, you can call the plays along with Dave, right, Dave?
Yeah, sounds good.
Because from what I hear, the Patriots have already bought off Ben Roethlisberger, so that game's in the bag.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Plus, we're in the process of booking former Dallas Cowboy All-Pro offensive lineman John Nyland, played from 1966 to 74 with the Dallas Cowboys. Randall Morris, former Seattle Seahawk, played for them in the mid-'80s, will be a guest coming up in the next week or so. So, you got any final words there, Dave?
Great show as always, Mike.
All right. If you want to do the Pick'em show tonight, call in at 11 o'clock.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So, for Dave Sidursky, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak. We'll see you next time.
Okay.